At sunrise on the southern Gold Coast Currumbin Beach, the stage is being set for the annual Swell Sculpture Festival. Founded in 2003, the not-for-profit festival draws in artists from across the country. This year it's the biggest so far, with around 80 artists displaying their works along more than a kilometre of beach frontage. Natasha Edwards is the founder and artistic director.
Its primary focus was to support artists in getting art out there. So providing a platform for artists to showcase their works and get out of the shed and into the public realm.
In a shed on Queensland's Sunshine Coast is exactly where you'll find Peter Tilney. He's new to sculpting, and he's teamed up with Dee Lambie-Wolfe, who's an old hand at the art. Although Peter may be new, he's extremely ambitious, and the phrase "go big or go home" comes to mind when seeing his first major sculpture. So where did the idea of the knitting needles and the ball of yarn come from?
That's purely Pete's.
From my stupid head.
Yeah, right.
My great-grandmother, she started with the CWA at Conedale. She's the first president there. So I knew I'd like a tribute for the CWA. And hence, you know, what do you do? Well, I thought knitting needles, because everyone used to knit and crochet.
An unlikely pairing, Dee and Peter have fallen into a great rhythm after meeting at the beach.
When I found out she's an artist, I said, great idea. And I think she just humoured me and said, yeah, I'll help you. Yeah, sure. Thinking like I'm an old bugger. So then I found a tree in the bush.
The tree was 25 metres long, and as a retired professional axeman of 50-odd years, there was nothing doing but to have a go at it.
I thought that's going to be some seriously big knitting needles, and yes, I work in fibre arts, but not of that scale.
Like any artist, Peter has found it hard to figure out when the work is complete.
I'm just concerned there'll be no sculpture left by the time Swell comes around, because he keeps finding pieces that can just slightly... He's a true artist, really. He's missed his calling.
As well as guiding Peter to make sure his vision is achievable, plus convincing him to enter into the Swell Sculpture Festival, Dee has used her expertise to help gather the necessary materials that can't be found on the property. Peter and Dee now have to work out how to get the sculpture, named Big, down the Bruce and Pacific highways to the Gold Coast. But theirs isn't the only large sculpture dealing with logistics and distance. Goondiwindi. It's pretty far from the sea, and this small country town of just over 10,000 people on the Queensland-New South Wales border is punching well above its weight when it comes to sculptors, with 2 of their local artists having entries in this year's Swell Sculpture Festival. This town is full of art, and a lot of it has to do with cattle and grain farmer Angus Wilson. Farming might be the source of his income, but art has always been around him.
My mother was very artistic, and then I did like architecture at university, but didn't want to be an architect. Came back to the farm to think about what I wanted to do and loved farming, so that's where I stayed. But still that art was in the genes, and during a dry period or whatever, not much happening on the farm, I thought I'd start tinkering away in the workshop and doing some art, and it kept on going from there.
Angus is entering his tree of life, made of reinforced steel and stone.
I'd never attempted anything like that, and it's a lot more challenging than I realised, and I'm up ladders and trying to weld high in the air and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of evolved over time, but the inspiration, you kind of just get looking at different ideas around the place.
Over 4 metres tall, 2 metres wide and estimated to be just under 2 tonnes, this sculpture is also helping out a charity.
A local girl that is raising money for men's mental health. And she asked me if she could use the sculpture. And I said, yes, that'd be fine. And so I told her that it is going to Swell, but I'm not going to sell it, and it will come back and be promoted for mental health in town probably.
And even though he hasn't shown his sculptures outside the town before, it doesn't mean they haven't been celebrated. Angus, along with other community members, have turned the whole town into a gallery. There's a sculpture trail that runs along the main road into town if you're coming from Queensland. Travellers regularly stop to marvel at the sheer size and number of works. A laneway in the centre of Goondiwindi is now an art gallery with murals and mixed media art. Lanescape, the not-for-profit organisation, was set up during a bad drought in 2018 to help invigorate the community and promote tourism. Tracy Jensen is the secretary, and wouldn't you know it, Angus Wilson is the president.
There was a few of us that kind of simultaneously came up with the same idea, went to council and they connected us all together, and Lanescape was born out of that. This is our little hub where we've started, and we've sort of progressed down the River Walk and along the River Walk. This is where we hold our festival each year in October, so 10th of October this year we will hold that.
And how important has it been for locals to A, have an outlet for their art, but then also for people who mightn't be artistically inclined to come and
look,
enjoy
it's
it?
all about just creating these spaces that people can come and enjoy and participate in. Like, we always have a great community aspect to our projects, so people can come along and participate and meet the artists and have a yarn and, yeah.
And do you think that there is a higher concentration of artists in Goondiwindi?
It seems that
Right.
is the case, right?
What do you put that down to?
I don't know. It's a
Something in
thriving
the water.
metropolis.
Yeah.
There is something in the McIntyre.
Another proud shed owner, Tom Paul, arrived in Goondiwindi 20 years ago. He discovered sculpture through his love of welding.
I was just fascinated by welding initially, because I'd never had anything to do with it growing up. It was sort of like, you know, it's like bloody magic, you know, still is. And then in the steel, you know, things just started emerging, like shapes would pop up and you go, oh, that could be a feather, or that could be a guitar string, or whatever. These things just started appearing. So I sort of learnt to weld and started sculpting at the same time, basically.
Tom's sculpture is meant to portray a mashup of brain, beast and machine. On one side, it's about the digital machine representing the internet, social media and streaming apps, keeping us connected and plugged in, consuming instead of creating. He reckons the real bite comes from the system we all grow up in. So art's anarchy?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Here it is, yeah.
I listen to a lot of Rage Against the Machine.
As a renegade of funk, this is Tom's first public showing. He's been contemplating entering the Swell Festival for the past decade.
Every year I'll find an excuse as to why I can't do it. You know, I don't have time, or I don't have an idea, or I'm not good enough, or whatever, etc., etc., etc. And this year I had the idea, and, you know, I can make the time, but we can always make time, you know. But I was sort of ran out of excuses, I suppose, to not enter.
Back on the sunny Gold Coast, artists from all over the country have arrived to start installation. This is Queensland's biggest outdoor sculpture festival. It's a predominantly free 10-day event incorporating a fringe festival, kids' elements and a smalls gallery. There's no set theme for the artists. But there is a prize. This year it went to Drew McDonald from Ocean Shores with his ball spider.
Yeah, so we just lifted it into place and dug it out a bit. It's got a platform so it's all safe and it won't sink into the sand there, and hopefully the tide doesn't take it away, but it might look pretty cool if there's a bit of water around it.
After hours of driving, the truck carrying Big finally arrived along with a big cast of helpers.
It felt like the entire community came out to help.
Anyway, it's here.
Was that a worry? Were you worried ever that it wouldn't be here?
Not really. Just the time is a big thing.
And you're happy with your location?
Perfect.
Love the location. It's right opposite the Smalls Gallery, which we think we've scored. It's really good. Woohoo!
And after decades of back and forth about entering Swell, is it all worth it for Tom?
Tom, you did it. You bloody did it.
We did it. We made it, yep.
After all those years of thinking about it.
Yeah. Finally took the plunge, leap of faith, and got it here.
The Goondiwindi too, Angus and Tom, took the leap to show their work to a larger audience. But the importance of the art scene in small towns like theirs can be vital for strengthening communities. Tracy Jensen says it can foster shared identity, improve mental and physical well-being, and help create opportunities for social connection and civic participation.
How proud are you of your artists, and I suppose artists like Angus and Tom, who are now showing their art in a Swell Festival?
Yeah, so it's so exciting to have two local sculpture artists be, featured in Swell Festival. Angus has done lots of works for us over the years as the president of Landscape, and we've got a grant in motion at the moment, so hopefully we'll have some of Tommy's work on the riverbank soon as well.